Hey, what's up? It's me again, Dr. Josh Satterlee with Clinic Gym Hybrid Solutions. And we talked a little bit about building a very efficient pod-style gym. Okay, what's a pod-style gym? It's a small gym that typically gets opened in the back of an existing clinic. Maybe you have 200 square feet, like one of our clients, Chip Bleem. Maybe you have 400, maybe you all the way up to 700, like one of our clients, Kirk Kippenberger. Whatever you have, you can make that into an excellent gym. Check back at some old videos where we showed you the 7 most important things you can add to that space to make it a very efficient pod-style gym. And to us, what that means, you can do rehab, you can treat people, and you can run classes of exercise, right? You can have memberships even in just 200 square feet. It's possible, you just gotta set it up most efficiently. All right, so here's 7 more tips so that you can run a very efficient, money-making, profitable pod-style gym. Number 1, so you see it's 7 more tools, all right? Number 1, the most common feedback you get from members to exercise is all about music. So get yourself the ability to have music. I just use a Bluetooth speaker, all right? The reason for that is in a 400 square foot space, you don't want to have big, huge speakers up on the wall that are transmitting sound through the walls to the clinic. So what a Bluetooth speaker allows you to do is any employee can log into it, right? Even a member on their birthday or something, maybe they get to control the music, but you can just bring this around to where the people are working out so there's music in that area without the big booming sound going into the clinic. Sometimes it's disturbing. Now, if it's after hours and the clinic's not operating, hey, go sick, man. Have some big old speakers playing loud music. But during clinic hours, moving the music with the clients is a really efficient way to make sure they have a great experience, but not disturb the clinic. So music, number 1, get yourself, I don't know, high quality, $100 Bluetooth speaker. That's all you need. Number 2, it's really important as you grow. You're in a tiny space, totally cool, and we want that to be profitable. But as you add more and more equipment, a problem will develop, and that is the problem of storage. So it's really important that you develop some storage. So what do I mean by that? It could be as simple as this, a milk crate to hold all your AirX pads, your rehab equipment, your foam rollers, your half foam rollers, and all that. If you had more space, I'd say a storage closet is awesome. Cubbies are great for client stuff, like when they come in, take off their jacket and their shoes. Having a cubby system. You can get the IKEA Kalex system, which is like the #1 cubby used in all gyms across the world, I think. But having those storage, it just makes the whole experience better, right? It's not cluttered with stuff everywhere. Have some storage. Some other things to think about. So in the last video, I talked about bands. Well, I have this rack. I haven't installed it yet, but this is going to go up here by my pull-up bar, right? And this is to store all my bands. So I can separate them and keep them hanging there and out of the way. And instead of a big rat's nest, they're going to be up here on the wall, right? So that's for band storage. So I really like that. We also have the exercise pads. Let me throw this up here. I also really like these exercise pads made by Spree or Spry, S-P-R-I. And the reason they have these big red things is because they sell a rack, this simple rack where you can install it on your wall and hang these things vertically. Maybe you can air them out, you can air out that sweat, clean them like that. But again, they're up against the wall and super efficient, right? So these have that storage rack, okay? That's why I like that. Again, I need to install this. Finally, if you're in a really tight space, one of the greatest things is Rogue's flat bench. Now, Rogue offers a storage rack. You can hang this, so we're gonna hang it right here so that when we're not using our gym, we can hang the bench vertically on the wall. Its legs fit in that little channel, and we can hang that bench vertically on the wall. If you have a very small space and you want to maintain that floor space, hanging those benches up on the wall are a great way, and then pull them down when you're running exercise classes, all right? So that's some more ideas for storage. Have containers, have racks, have organizers, and the best place to go to like a Home Depot or Lowe's and look in the garage organization area. They have large format things that'll hold bands, benches, heavy things like that, all right? So that's storage. Next up, something that'll make your gym so much more fun and so much more enjoyable, and you'll see tons of smiles in rehab and exercise, is get yourself a couple med balls, okay? This is a Dynamax, their small ball. This is a 4-pound. I have 4-pound and 6-pound. I like small balls that move fast, all right? Smaller, instead of the huge Dynamax ones, I want these smaller format ones. They're super enjoyable for people to toss around. If they miss, the 4-pound or 6-pound doesn't do any damage. And there's a lot of other uses for these. They can be depth markers for people when they're squatting, right? Or you can have them as a target for people to bend down and tap on the floor if you're trying to build that hinging and squatting pattern. These Dynamax things, you will see so many smiles, and you know who really surprises me that loves them? Old geezers. Your old patients that are over the age of 65, they freaking love throwing things around. I don't know what it is. They love med balls and they love ladders. So get some. Now, you don't have a lot of space, so just a couple small ones is enough, and they're easy to store, okay? So med balls. Number 4, if you want to build a pod style gym, the number 4 tip, or 4 more, 4A, 4B, whatever. If you want to have some more fun, I really like sliders, okay? You want a set of sliders. It can expand and make so many more exercises very difficult. We call those progressions. Why is that important? If you have a small space, you don't want the only method for increasing difficulty to be that you need to buy more weights or more equipment as the gym owner. Sliders create some instability, and it just even push-ups using a slider on one hand makes this a lot more difficult. So for a couple dollars, you can really progress some exercises. These are dedicated sliders that are blue color. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get a set of 4 sliders for like $12. They're called furniture moving pads, but very efficient and incredible. So many extra things you can do for a few dollars without taking up too much space. And space is at a premium here. All right, number 5, if you are building a pod style gym, the number 5 tip I have for a little tool that'll make your life easier is foam pads, all right? AirX pads for kneeling. You can use them for squeezing. You can make people more comfortable, put their head on this. But I think you should have a few different foam pads, right? You'll see these are different size. This is called Yes for All off Amazon. Couple tips. Number 1, I always buy colored pads, bright colors, not black. That's because when you have a mat down there and black flooring like I've had at my gym, some folks won't notice that there's a pad laying there and it becomes a tripping hazard. So I always get bright blue, bright purple, whatever color they have other than black, okay? So I like this purple one. Now, for a long time, I used this size. I thought this was the best. But I'm slowly becoming a fan of a little bit smaller of a pad because most of what we do on it is kneeling. So this size is fine, and I found this one on Amazon. It's kind of interesting if you're doing rehab. They sell it as a set of 2 pads with a big Velcro piece to make it a single pad. Kind of cool, but this size I think is fantastic. And these pads are typically cheaper, whereas AirX brand, it's definitely got more gel, but this was a $60 pad. These two together were $25, so make your decision. They are nice though. All right, so foam pads, I really love it, and I think you need multiple. You can't just have 1 or 2, but definitely for every pod, if you have a bench, you have a pull-up bar, you want to have at least 1 kneeling pad in there. Kneeling exercises, the biggest bang for the buck that gets overlooked in most rehab gyms. All right, number 6, my 6th tip. If you are building a pod-style gym in the back of your clinic, you want to use very efficient use of space, and you want some tools that'll help out, I can't say enough good things about foam yoga blocks. They're lightweight. You can stack them up to put a kettlebell on top to bring the kettlebell up off the floor for somebody doing deadlifts. You can use them to help people with more comfortable wrist positions when they're doing push-ups, right? So some women, I worked with a lot of female golfers, and they have really beat up wrists. So these allow for some different positions to get more comfort in your push-ups. But a set of 2 foam yoga blocks, I like foam better than cork or anything else. These are also, as society becomes more litigious, these are a great insulator if you want to cue somebody, tap on them with the foam, it spreads out the force and there's no direct body contact. If that's something that you're worried about, or maybe that you're a male coach working with a lot of junior high and high school female athletes, we can't dismiss those things. So a couple foam blocks. Again, I got purple because I don't want black getting disappeared. All right. So I love those yoga blocks, and I put them right here. All right, yoga blocks. Then the last thing, number 7, if you're building a pod style gym in your clinic, you want to have the most efficient use of space. What else should you have? You should have music, storage, throw a couple med balls around, add some sliders, foam pads, yoga blocks, rehab stuff, all the things we talked about in the first video. And one more thing, you're gonna need rehab stuff. For me, I do a lot of rehab with kettlebells, but we already covered that. I do a lot of rehab with foam pads, but we covered that. But you're gonna add in for your style of rehab, whatever you want. So a set of Indian clubs. I really like these for shoulder rehab, although they're not the most required thing. When I want them, they're a great tool, okay? For certain exercises, I like a half foam roller to make things more interesting balance-wise and to mobilize some feet and ankles, okay? I like mini bands, you know? Mini bands are a great tool and I think can do a great job in rehab, but you may not. You might find some different stuff. Whatever it is, assemble your little group of rehab stuff, but always keep an eye on, does it take up a lot of space? Does it get me a lot of bang for the buck? And can I store it away nicely? So if you notice, everything I have stores away in this milk crate, and it just so happens when this goes on the rack, this crate goes on top of it, and it's a perfect little space, a very efficient use of space. So I hope this is useful. 7 more things. Don't ever forget about music. Most feedback from clients will be around music. I hope that's useful for you, and if you have any questions, hit us up at clinicgymhybrid.com or check out one of our live courses. Hopefully we're coming to an area near you. Thanks so much for checking out these videos. I hope they're useful. We'll cover things like rehab, exercise, business model, progressions, layout, everything else that helps you build a clinic. So if you're interested, you can click here, there, to get more videos just like this.